Romaine lettuce seems to be poisoning and in some cases even killing people. It's a growing problem and an important issue. Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and please subscribe to our channel. So is romaine safe, or is high-risk romaine simply the new normal? There have been these outbreaks of foodborne illness, E. coli infections across the United States as a consequence of romaine lettuce. Jesse Hirsch is on the line with us. He's the managing editor of the New Food Economy. NewFoodEconomy.org is the website. You can tweet him at Jesse_Hirsch, Hirsch. Jesse, welcome to the program.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So is high-risk romaine simply the new normal, and is it exclusively romaine?
It's really feeling that way. I wouldn't say that it's exclusively romaine. I'm not sure if you saw that there was a new outbreak announced yesterday.
No, I missed that.
No, and it seems that there's a new one announced just about every week, so it's understandable that people get a little confused and mix them up. But this is a new distinct one in chopped lettuce salad mixes. There have been 8 people reported sick and 3 were hospitalized, which is a very high rate for E. coli. One thing is that these outbreaks seem to be getting more and more virulent. Like more people are suffering from kidney damage and actually being checked into the hospitals than was previously. But one thing is definitely certain is that it seems that it's a problem that is not able to be managed effectively at this point.
So let's get down to fundamental causes here. First of all,
Sure.
What is E. coli and how does it get on romaine lettuce or other food products? And also, why is this particular form of E. coli so virulent that it can damage people's kidneys to the point that some of these people end up having to be on dialysis for the rest of their lives?
Those are all really good questions. The first thing is E. coli starts with animals, and specifically in the digestive tract of humans or animals.
It's a normal gut bacteria.
It's a normal gut bacteria, exactly. And sometimes, I mean, different strains of it do not affect us at all. We consume E. coli on a daily basis that does not make us very sick. But these particular dangerous strains that are popping up on E. coli, and it has been spinach in the past. There have been other leafy greens that were affected by it, but romaine, which is the most popular lettuce, seems to get more than the lion's share of when these outbreaks happen. And it typically started at a farm nearby, a livestock farm near wherever the romaine is being grown, and somehow it's been transmitted through the water supply.
Oh, interesting. So this is the result of industrialized animal agriculture.
Yes, it's true. It's true. I see a lot of people kind of surmise that maybe it's workers that are not washing their hands and things like that. But typically it is kind of the pairing of 2 different types of industrial agriculture: livestock agriculture and the growing of leafy greens. And
what's so dangerous about the way that we grow livestock? I'm not sure "grow" is even the right word. We're talking about
raise.
Animals, mammals that have limbic brains just like ours. But the thing that's so dangerous about this is that we feed them massive amounts of antibiotics, and so this normal gut bacteria, as it mutates in ways that make it not only more pathogenic but also more antibiotic resistant. Is that the one of the problems that we're seeing in this contaminated romaine?
That's certainly the speculation. Nobody really wants to go out on a limb and say, that this is the exact reason why it's more dangerous than it was 10 years ago. I mean, when the first time that we really saw a leafy green outbreak of E. coli was in 2006, and it was spinach, and that was pretty bad as well. I mean, 200 people went to the hospital. There were a lot of sicknesses, and there was a death, I believe. So it's not that this has not been dangerous, but it does seem like it's happening more frequently and more consistently. The harms have been worse.
Now, romaine is, you just look at it, it's the stuff that they make Caesar salads out of, if people don't know what we're talking about. And most famously Caesar salads, but it's all over the place. Romaine is all kind of squiggly, and I'm lacking a word for it, but
it's got lots of nooks and crannies and crevices.
Yeah,
and
a lot of texture to
the bacteria to kind of swirl away inside.
Is that the problem? I mean, is it that it's hard to wash, basically?
I mean, that is one of the problems, is that it's hard to wash because it actually gets inside the fibers of the romaine lettuce, so you can't extract that from a normal wash. And beyond that, if you were cooking meat that had E. coli, there is a temperature that you could cook it to that would kill the bacteria. Romaine is typically consumed raw, so that right there is just an easy reason why it would be more dangerous.
Right. So what should people do if they're concerned about this, if they don't want to, take the risk of ending up on dialysis for the rest of their lives?
I mean, you could make the bold recommendation that maybe try some different kinds of greens, ones that you could cook or that, have less risk. But barring that, I mean, if you stay up to date on the CDC and the FDA websites, they post information pretty regularly about specifically which romaine. I mean, right now, the romaine outbreak the E. coli outbreak in romaine is specifically from Salinas, California grown. So if you look at the package and you have that information when you go to the supermarket, you can know, okay, if it wasn't grown in Salinas, maybe it's safe. But is it possible that's a high expectation for consumers to have all that information and to go to a restaurant and say, where did you get your romaine from?
Right. Yeah. In particular, in a restaurant. I mean, there's an Ethiopian restaurant here in town that Louise and I eat at every week, and they always put a little salad on there, and it's romaine. And I noticed this last week. Last weekend, having read your article, and I'm like, whoa, I'm not sure I'm going to eat that.
Yeah. And the CDC makes an official recommendation that you should ask your server, what is there romaine in this, and where was it grown? And right. I mean, that's a lot for the consumer to remember, and it's a lot for the server in the restaurant to have that information.
Are there multiple steps in the distribution chain where romaine grown in Salinas might end up being processed in Bakersfield or being packaged in Las Vegas and into little plastic baggies for us to buy in the store, and we just don't even know that it actually started in Salinas?
Yeah, that's absolutely a good point. I was at Consumer Reports before I worked at New Food Economy, and I was working there when they had last year. If you remember, there was just like outbreak after outbreak, and more and more people getting sick. And as it got bigger and bigger and bigger, that's what they kind of figured out is there was so much commingling. If you are a company that makes bagged salads, then when you take in the romaine that's been tainted by E. coli and mix it in with a bunch of other lettuce, the problem has gotten exponentially bigger and more difficult to track and trace.
So at my local store, there's a New Seasons nearby. There's a Whole Foods nearby. Louise and I frequently shop at both of them. Sometimes they'll have raw romaine. I mean, it's not bagged. It's just like, here it is. And it's labeled organic. And I always assumed that was probably coming from a local source, probably even a greenhouse, given that Oregon doesn't have a 24 or a 12-month growing season. Is there, what do I do? I mean, should I ask the store? Where'd your romaine come from?
If you really want that romaine, then it might be worth asking the store. I do know that when I was talking to members of the industry about this, they have been taking efforts because this is no good for their bottom line either. I mean, they don't want, in your mind, to romaine to be associated with sickness. I mean, it just doesn't work for them and their bottom line. So they've been taking a lot of proactive steps. And one thing that's big that they were saying is that supermarkets should, and I don't know how much this is actually happening, be posting a lot more useful information to consumers. I mean, when you went to the Whole Foods near your house, were there any signs up? Did anything give you any indication of where that?
It's been a month since I was there. I don't know. So.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to do that more, but it is a lot to remember. Greenhouse grown romaine does seem to be some significantly safer. I've seen a lot less of outbreaks that come down to that, and that it's the way that it's grown really.
Yeah. Well, for people like me who are vegans, it's like you want to eat a lot of green stuff, right? It's like it's really good, and it's really healthy, but.